Welcome to the Coach Business Podcast. I'm your host, Caryn Gillen. And the other day, I had this awesome opportunity to go for a walk in person with one of the members inside of Comfortable in Business. We happen to live in the same town. I'm lucky. And we walked and talked a lot, and I got to think through her business a lot and think about marketing and all the things going on. And it was a really fruitful conversation, and I loved it. It feels like such a gift to get to be behind the scenes with our clients in that way. And at the, near the end of our conversation, I had a realization, and that is, oh, I need to help you guys think about business strategically. So I asked her some questions about that, and it became clear that this is something that I do, but I don't actually teach people to do all the time. And it's actually, I think, one of the things that makes my business coaching different from a lot of other business coaches. So there's layers and layers of experiential knowledge that I'm bringing to the table. I'm going to toot my own horn here for a moment, not because I need my ego stroked, but because I want you to understand something. So, in the online business space, what I've seen happen throughout the years is coaches coaching on whatever, going and creating some sort of success in their business, and then becoming business coaches of that kind of success that they had. So that's fairly one note in terms of how businesses work, the landscape of business across the sphere of all the things that are available in business, that sort of thing. And so oftentimes what you get when you have people in that situation is then they teach you what they did because that's what they know. The problem is what they know is one way, maybe some variations on one way, but that's not enough to meet the majority of humanity where they are with all of our experience and our greatness and our story and our history and our realities, right? So if you have someone who's had success in kind of one way, and then they've come up with a way to teach other people how to do it the one way that they did it, oftentimes they're selling a framework or a format or a path that you can do. And then you go in there, you work with them. It's not that it's a bad path. There's nothing, I've got nothing against the path. It's like there are so many great paths. But if someone is trying to apply the same path to a bunch of different people, someone's always going to get missed. And the more depth and breadth of experience that you have, the more different kinds of paths that you even know exist and you can see. And so that can come with time. It can come with experience in and out of different industries. It can come with experience in the industry you're in. It can come from all sorts of different places, education, working for other people, all that stuff. So one of the things that another client made really clear to me is that one thing that I do that other people don't, that she hasn't had done, and she's worked with some names in the industry that you would recognize, that I'm not going to share, but that there's a way where working with me, she not only gets what she could do, she gets kind of the map of what the options are, along with an understanding of why those are the options, as well as what you're kind of choosing away from because you're going with this option versus another option versus another option, right? So it's a as you make your moves in business, you're getting a clearer picture of the entire playing field around you. You're not getting put into the boat at the Disneyland ride where you kind of bumble around in the water, but you can never get off track. You just take the same track. Everybody goes on the same ride. Everybody gets off at the same place, right? So it's one of the reasons I have a hard time telling people like outcomes for my business. When you work with me, I'm like, well, you are going to come out on the other side with a business that feels more like you, with a business you don't have to recover from. The outcomes you're going to create are going to be as unique as you are. Like, so I have a hard time pinning myself down and saying like, well, this is what we are going to create because this is what I've done a million times with 1,000 other people. I don't have that because I've done 1,000 different things with 1,000 different people. And so the reason I bring all this up is because this person I got to go on a walk with at the end of our walk said, but you don't ever mention dealing with self doubt or with like doubt about your business. And it was a good aha for me because I was like, you know what? It's not something I talk about. It's not something that I ever really had to deal with in terms of doubting business. I've doubted my goals. I have doubted sales metrics. I have doubted niches. I've doubted lots of particular parts of business, but I have never doubted being in business because I was raised in business, on business, around business. I'm all business all the time. Um, and that's when I started to really think about like, okay, there's some other things we need to talk about, some other things that need to be taught clearly so that you can understand what's going on. And so I wanted to bring in 5. It looks like there's 5 things today to share with you in terms of dealing with doubt in business or self-doubt with yourself as a business owner. The first thing is, and this is all stuff that we're addressing in Comfortable in Business, my membership for coaches. Number 1 is I want to teach you how to think strategically. And that's why I told you about all that business experience and how you're not on just the water track at Disneyland. If you are learning to think strategically about your business, then you are learning to create outcomes of really any kind. It's like walking into the 100 flavor ice cream store instead of the 2 flavor ice cream store. So the more you're able to think strategically about the different ways you can get to the same place, about the different places that you might want to be, about how you evaluate what's working and what's not working in your business, and how you even see those things and interpret what's working and what's not working. Like there's a whole world out there of possibility and options for you that I'm not sure you even understand yet. Like a lot of the time when people come in and do some of this work, it's like we forgot that we came here for the freedom. We forgot that a business is a great big permission slip and we get to write whatever we want on it. And we have to, because if you don't write your own permission slip in terms of what strategy you can use and what you're going for, no one else will. That's a part of being the boss. The next thing I want to share is about building wisely. There's a reason that you would hire a coach ever is so that you can do things with more wisdom and grace baked in because they're there with you. When you have someone in it with you, you get a lot more feedback a lot faster. You can like, and there's something that I was talking about today on our coaching call inside of Comfortable in Business. And that was like, I want you to share with me how you are thinking about what you are doing. Because when you share what you're thinking, I can hear what's missing. And I can hear your assumptions that you don't realize are just assumptions and maybe aren't facts. And I can hear possibility that you don't know exists yet. So that like everyone who's Comfortable in Business listening to this, like please take this to heart. I want to hear what you're thinking because it will help me help you build wisely. And that's what I want for you. Is I want you to have a wise business. I want you to skip some of the really ugly steps that are unnecessary, if at all possible. The other thing that we're doing inside of Comfortable in Business is testing frequently. I think, one of the one of the big bummers of the freaking internet is that you can go learn everything about how to scale to 7 figures and how to run ad campaigns to have a 6-figure launch and how to like build a program to make money while you sleep. You can learn all that stuff for free off of YouTube and freebies and Googling things. The problem is 97% of what you're picking up out there isn't for you yet. And you have to get through the initial stages of business of selling your first $10,000 of coaching, of having your first client want a refund, of selling the first offer that you hate delivering. There's all these like rites of passage that you go through that actually give you the chops to and the experience to like know what you would want to scale. And you're so far away from it when you start learning about it. I mean, I was learning about all that stuff probably like 10 years before I needed to. Do I even need to know it now? I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's useful yet, honestly. So, what I want you to take away from this is like most of what you're going to encounter out there that is marketed directly to you by sponsored ads or people that you follow or newsletter lists that you're on, podcasts you listen to, books that you read are concepts that aren't for you yet. And they're nice and it feels good to learn them. And it feels like I'm really, figuring stuff out and I'm taking notes and I've got my like big plans inside of my ClickUp or my whatever Trello boards, gajillion Trello boards, never used. But if you don't get to the place where all that stuff is valuable, it's worthless to you. And all it's doing is taking up your time and your energy and your brain space and confusing right where you are right now. And you have to be where you are right now in order to make any of that stuff worthwhile. So, consistent editing of what's happening inside of your business and what you're taking in and what you're learning is super important. I think I got all of that out of test frequently, which wasn't related at all. So the test frequently part is actually like setting up tests that are meant for quick return on information. Nobody who, if you're not making at least probably $4,000 a month in your practice, you need to be running quick tests and you probably shouldn't have much more than a 6-month plan. But most of you, if you're in the starter phases of business, and when I say starter phases, I mean revenue marks. You might have been in business for 10 years and you're making $3,000 a month. I'm still talking to you. You want to test frequently and you don't want to make your plans too long term because you don't potentially know enough about what's going on with your market to do so. And you want to get yourself to the place where you do when you're making enough revenue to really start making longer term plans. So that's what that was all about. It's how to like be right sized with what we're up to. The next thing is quit as fast as you can. A lot of us were raised to not be quitters, to be people who showed up and did the work, pulled ourselves up by the bootstraps and kept going even when it's hard. But when you're in business for yourself, you need to know when to quit and you need to quit as fast as you possibly can, but not too early. So, what that means is if you're doing something like, say, you started a podcast and you're pretty new in business and you have 3 people who listen every week, and it takes you 4 hours of your week to record and edit and make social content about it and get the thing up, and you've been doing it for 6 months and it hasn't created a single client, I would say it's time to pull the plug on the podcast. It's not doing what it needs to do for you. Those 4 hours a week could be so much better spent somewhere else. That doesn't mean that you won't have a podcast someday, but it might mean that you need to work on building your audience before you bother putting that much time and effort into a broadcast tool like a podcast. That's an example of what I'm talking about. Quit things as fast as you can. If you like, I think what we do oftentimes is we hear about a strategy, we hear about something that you can do in business. And so we start doing it and then we never stop and we don't question it and we keep going and we get busier and busier because we keep adding things to the list of the things that we do because we do them. But you got to quit stuff. You got to really look at that list and think like, what isn't working for me? What is not pulling its weight? And quit doing it. And it's okay. You haven't missed out or lost. Like that's where you get some mindset coaching. You haven't lost out on things because you quit doing something. It's okay to quit stuff. It is okay. It's okay to be a quitter, be a fast quitter. And the last one that feels really important is to follow ease wherever she goes and protect it. Protect ease like the lovely gift that she is in your life and in your business. So If you find that there is something that you do that just works, it's pretty easy. Like when I do this, then that happens. When I host a workshop, I usually get a couple clients. That's called ease. So, what do you do every month? You do a workshop and you bring those couple clients in every month and you figure out, how do I bring more people to my workshop? Because it seems like when people see me do a workshop, they want to work with me. And how fantastic is that? So, watch for the things that have an outsized positive effect on your business and make them a priority. What I see, myself included, I watch out for this. But most of us doing consistently is we do something that like comes to us with ease, or like, oh, that wasn't real. I hadn't planned on it. It wasn't that hard. We don't do it. And yet it was the thing that really actually created the results. So when you find those things, those are your number one revenue generators. Keep doing them. Even if they don't make sense. It's totally okay if they don't make sense. Remember, you're the boss. You get to decide what you prioritize and what you deprioritize. So you stop doing the things that take a lot of effort and create zero results or barely any results. And you keep doing the things that take the least amount of effort, but somehow produce the results that you really want. Those are the things. Okay. So when you want to have my support in honing in on thinking strategically, building your business wisely, how to test frequently and what to test, and how to quit and what to quit. So you're not wasting your time on things that just take your resources, but don't create anything for you. And to watch out for the things that really work, then I want you to join me inside of Comfortable in Business. If you feel like you're beyond that point, I have other options for you. Just reach out. But I want to help coaches like really make this work. And I want you to make it work in a way that it really fits your life and you don't have to recover from your business. And it meets you where you're at and it serves your clients. That's what I want for you. Let me know if you want my help. We might as well do it together, right? All right. Share this episode with a friend if they are struggling to stop doing something that isn't working. Or if you've seen them have great success with something and they keep not doing it, make sure they get this. And if you're the friend who someone just sent this to, notice those two options. Which one are you? And take them seriously. Because if a friend just sent you this podcast because of that, it means they love you and they want the best for you. So make sure you are editing and that you are promoting ease. And if you want my help, reach out. I'm all the places. Okay, we'll see you out there.